to the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you today's Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference matchup between the visiting Lakeland Muskies and your Concordia Chicago Cougars. My name is Sydney Pulaskis-Laher here on the Cougar Sports Network, ready to bring you all the action in today's doubleheader. For today's action, it is also Senior Day for the Cougars. 4 seniors are going to be honored today after our doubleheader action. Bella Archuleta, Gina Westfall, Alyssa Contopoulos, and 5th-year senior Nikina Robbins. So stick around in today's second game for that as well. And right now, getting you started here is Eden Pufall in the circle for the Cougars. Jessica Kang behind the plate, Bella Archuleta at third, Arissa Santos at short, Emily Garcia at second, Melissa Hajik at first, Gina Westfall in left field, Haley Goldsby in center, and Alyssa Contopoulos in right. And for the Muskies, getting us started is number 17, Hannah Nelson. Now it's bat number 17, Hannah Nelson. Nelson up to the bat for the Muskies as Pufall delivers the first pitch for a strike. Oh, 1 count to start today for Nelson versus Pufall. And we'll get you that lineup right here after this pitch for the Muskies. That one's fouled back for strike 2. Muskies lineup, we've got Hannah Nelson playing right field today. Number 23, Maddie Johnson playing second base. Number 12, Juliana Hall playing third base. Number 18, Abby Heitman in the DP position. Batting fifth is number 11, Maddie Rasky, as that ball's in there for a ball, 1-2 count. We have Maddie Rasky playing center. Batting sixth and catching for the Muskies today is Peyton Harlow, playing left field. Batting seventh and catching for the Muskies is going to be Jordan August, batting eighth at first base. And that's going to be a strikeout right there, as we're getting through the lineup here. We got a strikeout already from Pufall. I'll get you back here as we have Johnson coming up to bat now. Johnson coming out to bat now for the Muskies. She squares the bunt. That ball's going to be fouled back for strike 1. Oh, 1 the count. 1 strike so far here for Pufall and the Cougars. She swings at that one and fouls it back. 0-2 count, quickly getting ahead. Oh, 2 the count now. Pufall delivers. That one's going to be a ball. So 1-2 the count now for Johnson. We started off with Nelson with the strikeout from Pufall. That one's going to be swung on and into center, but it's going to be grabbed by Arissa Santos over at shortstop. So it's quickly going to become a 2-out situation here. And now coming up to bat is going to be Hall. Now to bat number 12, Juliana Hall. Hall now up to bat for the Muskies. We got 2 outs here for the Cougars as well. She's going to swing at that first one. It's going to be fouled down the third base line. Archuleta, one of our seniors today for our Senior Day celebration, grabbing that one. Pufall so far this season, a 3.91 ERA, 3 wins, 5 losses on 17 appearances, and 48.1 innings pitched, second most innings pitched on the Cougars staff. That one's going to be fouled back again. 0-2 the count. Muskies right now coming in with a great record on the year, 23-5 and 12-2 in conference play. They're at the top of the conference right now. So big day for both of these teams as the Cougars are going to try and take one or maybe even two from the Muskies, who are leading the conference overall. 1-2 the count now to Hall. 2 outs here in the top of the first. That one's going to just drop. Good off speed there from Pufall, but no bite from Hall for that pitch. 2's all the way across now. She's going to swing at that one. It's going to flare a little bit out to shortstop, and Santos is going to get that one as well. So very quickly, the Cougars get out of it, 3 up, 3 down to start this game. And we'll be right back to give you the action of the Cougars up to bat here on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you the bottom of the first here. Cougars had a quick inning going 3 up, 3 down on the Muskies. And now we're going to start off with Arissa Santos for the Cougars. She's going to be facing off against Skylar Hall. So that one's in there for ball 1. Skylar Hall so far this season, a 2.2 ERA, 10 wins, 3 losses on 15 appearances. As Arissa's going to pop that one up. It's going to be fouled off, fouled back into where the Cougars keep their bags at. So we're going to go 1-1 here. But again, Skylar Hall, 15 appearances, 79.2 innings pitched, a 51 strikeout to 27 walk ratio, which is some impressive numbers out of her, as we're going to have another foul off from Arissa Santos. 1-2 count now. Santos, so far this season, is leading the Cougars batting average .425. With 37 hits so far, as that one's upstairs for ball 2. She's got 37 hits, 4 doubles, 4 home runs, and 26 RBI. Also leads the Cougars in slugging percentage at .609. So again, some really great numbers out of her for the Cougars. And she's going to swing at that one. That one's going to go, and it is out of here. A leadoff home run for Arissa Santos, and the Cougars are fired up. Home run, Arissa Santos. Some great looks from her right there to absolutely blast that ball out of the park. And now we're going to have Emily Garcia up to bat to keep it going. Now to bat number 22, Emily Garcia. I mean, that's probably the best way you want to start a game off. Santos, she's been crushing the ball in Cougar Field so far lately. She had 2 home runs during their game against Lake Forest on Wednesday. So she has just been lights out all week. And now we're going to have Garcia up to bat. Garcia, 391 average on her freshman year. 34 hits, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run. As that ball's going to be upstairs for ball 2. She also has 13 RBIs and 21 runs scored. 2-0 count here for Garcia. And that ball's going to hit her, and she's going to take her base. So very quickly, Cougars are jumping on it here on the Muskies. Now to bat, number 12, Jessica Gang. Now we have Jessica Gang up to the plate. Gang, a 380 average so far this year on 25 games played. 30 hits, 4 doubles, and a triple. She squares the bump. That one's going to be popped up and grabbed by Hall over at third base. Now we're going to have Melissa Hajik coming up to bat here. She's going to swing at the first pitch that she sees out into center, and that one's going to die. And now we're going to have runners on first and second. Now we're going to have a little bit of a miscue from Johnson. And now we're going to have runners at first and third for the Cougars, creating a ton of havoc here on senior day already. Now to bat, number 1, Bella Archuleta. And now with Garcia at third and Hajik at first, we're now bringing up Archuleta to the plate. Who's going to swing at the first one she sees. That ball's getting a dangerous spot, but Morrow over at shortstop is going to reel that one in as well. And now Caitlin Smith is going to come up to bat with 2 outs here for the Cougars. Now to bat, number 8, Caitlin Smith. Cougars ready to go today so far. That ball's going to be upstairs for ball 1. Smith so far this year, a .214 batting average, 14 games played. She has a triple to her name as well, as that one's upstairs for ball 2. So runners on first and third. Really exciting first inning for the Cougars here as they lead 1-0 after a Santos solo home run to start off the inning. As that one's also going to be upstairs for ball 3, 3-0 count now. We've got Garcia on third, Hajik on first, and an opportunity here for the Cougars to start a 2-out rally in the bottom of the first. She's going to take that one down the middle for strike 1 here. 3-1 count now. She's going to swing at that one. Great rise ball movement out of Hall right there. And now we got a full count here with runners on the corners. She's going to swing at that one, but it's going to take foul. No cars hit just yet. If you're unfamiliar, here on the Cougar Sports Network, we do keep a car counter for how many cars get hit in our doubleheader action. On Division Street, there's cars parked up and down today, so we'll see what happens. As that one's going to be in the dirt for ball 4, and that's going to bring up Alyssa Contopoulos. And it looks like the head coach for the Muskies, Tammy Utley, is going to call time here to talk to her infield and her pitcher. Looks like she might be trying to have a conversation with the umpire here as well. Head coach still out there talking to her infield. We've got the bases loaded for the Cougars now. 2 outs. We're going to have Alyssa Contopoulos up. Contopoulos, a 182 batting average so far this year on 26 games played. Playing right field today, and one of our seniors being honored in today's celebration. First pitch to her. It's going to be inside for a ball. Just outside of the river, so just a little bit inside, but a good take from Contopoulos. 1-0 count now for Contopoulos against Hall. She's going to throw that one inside as well. Just about hit Contopoulos, but looks like she kind of snuck out of the way a little bit there. 2-0 count now here. That one's going to be high as well. So quickly a 3-0 count for the senior on senior day. We'll see if we're going to have another ball here, or if Hall's going to give her something to work with. That one's going to be ball 4, and we're going to walk a run in here for the Cougars. So now up to bat, we have number 9, Gino Westfall. Now to bat, number 9, Gino Westfall. Now we have Gino Westfall up to bat for the Cougars after Alyssa Contopoulos walked in a run. So that one's going to be low for ball 1. 1-0 count now for Westfall. Westfall on the season, a 100 batting average. As she looks at ball 2 here, looks like Hall is really trying to hone in on the inside corner. Just a little bit too far in the other batter's box, and our home plate umpire here just really not giving a lot on that corner. And that one's going to be ball 3. They're close pitches for sure, but it just seems like our home plate umpire here just isn't going to budge on that call. 3-0 count now for Westfall. That's going to be strike 1. Getting that call on the inside right there. That one just a little bit more towards the white of the plate. Now we have a 3-1 count here for Gino Westfall. That one's going to be a little high, but she's going to swing at it. And now we've got ourselves a 3-2 count, 2 outs, bases loaded. Big situation here for the senior, again, on senior day. She's going to swing at that one and foul it off to the side, but staying alive here. And Hall wanting to get this last out to get her Muskies back up to bat. We're going to have a little bit of a confusion here over whether or not she swung and foul tipped that. And now we're going to have a little bit of conversation. It looks like head coach Sarah O'Malley-Fisher is arguing that Gino Westfall fouled that off and hit it off her bat, or off of her head. So now we're having a conversation here between the umpires and head coach Sarah O'Malley-Fisher to see what we're going to do here. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and just take the out. So we're going to take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network, but we'll be right back with you in a second to give you the second inning of action. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. A little bit of a confusing end there for the Cougars in the field. A little bit of an argument between the umpires and head coach Sarah O'Malley Fisher about what the call was, but Cougars still lead 2-0 here in this contest. That's going to be in for ball one. And now we're going to have Heitman up to bat for the Muskies. She's going to swing at that one. Garcia's going to dive for it, but it's not going to be in time. A great try by the second baseman, but just not enough. So that's going to be a base hit there for Heitman. And now the Muskies are going to have a runner on first base. Now to bat number 11, Maddie Rasky. Rasky out to bat now for the Muskies with a runner on first. First pitch a little bit outside. A little bit of movement from the Muskies runner, but Jessica Gang pops right back up and stops that movement. Pufall still in the circle for the Cougars here. That one's going to be called a ball as well. 2-0 count now here for Rasky in her first at-bat. No outs so far for the Muskies in the second. That one's going to be in there for the first strike, though. 2-1 count now for Pufall. That one's going to be scorched up the middle past Pufall. And we're going to have our runners going here. That's going to be a great hit from Rasky. And Heitman's going to go to third on the play. So now Muskies with runners on the corners in the top of the second. Looks like Jessica Gang is going to call a timeout here to kind of get her team together. Huge hit from Rasky, just absolutely smacked that ball up the middle. Pufall, thankfully, getting out of the way and not getting hit by that. Now we're going to have assistant coach Izzy Ortiz head out there as well to talk to the infield as well. We do have a first and third situation here, so interesting to see how the Cougars are going to handle this defensively. Now it's bat number 2, Peyton Harlow. Gonna have another conversation here. Looks like we're gonna have a pinch runner here. It's gonna be number 1, Raina Roop now. She's gonna run for Rasky over at first. So you can only assume that they're gonna try and do something here running-wise. Squares to bunt, not going to get much going, but we are going to have the stolen base there from Roop now. So now we got runners on second and third. 1 ball here called, so 1-0 count now. So now we got a 1-0 count. Runners on second and third here for the Muskies, as we're going to have Harlow swing through that one. Great work out of Pufall there, coming back from a ball that just narrowly missed her. The ball was absolutely smacked. That ball's going to be just inside. Good placement there, but as we discussed earlier, the home plate umpire we have here today is not a fan of the inside corner, so no dice on that one. 3-1 count now for Harlow. No outs again here in the top of the second. Now we're going to have 3-2 count here. Excuse me. Three-two count now for Pufall against Harlow. That one's going to be fouled back, so staying alive for another pitch here is Harlow. Pufall in the game against Lakeland on Wednesday tended to go into these 3-2 counts and just battled with batters back-to-back-to-back pitches, so tending to get into that habit here again. She's going to swing at that one. It's going to skate past Garcia. We're going to have a Muskie score. And then we're going to have another one come in after an errant throw. And that's going to be 2 runs. And the Muskies are going to tie up the game on that play. And now we're going to have Harlow with a single to right, move to second on the play. We're gonna have a squared bunt here. It's gonna be an out at first. It's gonna be Hajik to Garcia, but it is going to move Harlow over to first, or over to third, excuse me, and that was August who had that sacrifice bunt here. So 1 out now for the Cougars. Now to bat number 16, Sydney Meyer. Meyer now up to bat for the Muskies, the 8-batter in their lineup. We still have a runner on third here. But the Muskies have tied this game up 2-2. That ball's going to be in there for ball 1. One oh the count. 1 out here with a runner on third for the Muskies. And she's going to swing through that one. A great pitch from Pufall. Looks like Meyer kind of got caught up in that one. Going to be 16 versus 16 here between these two. That off speed is going to be a little too high, so it's going to be ball 2 in this count. 2-1 now to Meyer. Pitch coming in. That one's going to be a swing and a miss. Another great upstairs pitch from Pufall. 2-2 count now. As Pufall looks to take the reins on the inning and get her Cougars back up to bat. We're going to have a swing there over to Garcia at second, and then a play over to home, but Jessica Gaines going to drop the ball just barely. So an out at first for Meyer, and then Harlow's going to score on the play. So now Muskies taking the lead here 3-2. Now we're going to have Carly Morrow come up to bat. She's going to kind of half swing at the first one she sees. Now to bat number 4, Carly Morrow. 0-1 count now. 2 outs for the Cougars, but the Muskies, a huge comeback already. I mean, hard to say that in the second inning, but 3-2 game now. She's going to swing at that one. It's going to go out into center. Looks like the wind's going to take it, and it's actually going to get caught by Emily Garcia. So that's going to be the end of the inning, but a huge inning for the Muskies. But now Cougar is getting the opportunity to come back up to the plate. So we'll be right back with that action on the Cougar Sports Network. Back on the Cougar Sports Network, ready for some more action here. It has been a fun one so far, as the Muskies lead 3-2 in the bottom of the second. And now we have 9-hitter Haley Goldsby up to bat as she takes ball one. Goldsby playing center field today for the Cougars. So that one's going to be upstairs as well for ball two. Hall still in the circle for the Muskies. 2-0 count now here. That's going to be called strike one on the outside corner, kind of the outer top half of the outside corner there. So Hall trying to find where this strike zone is with our home plate umpire, as that one's going to be inside for ball three. Hall really trying to move her screwball on the inside corner, but again, our home plate umpire is just not giving that corner at all. Now 3-1 to Goldsby. So that one's going to be called ball four, and it's going to roll the lineup back around to the top of the order with Arissa Santos. Now to bat, number 15, Arissa Santos. Now we're going to have head coach come out for a second here. It looks like we might have a change in right field. We've got some, actually we have a handful of changes happening here between the Muskies. Looks like number 17, Hannah Nelson, is going to come into pitch. And we've got our right fielder changing. So it looks like number 13 is going to head out there for the Muskies. We're going to take a quick break right here and be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back on the Cougar Sports Network, a couple of changes for the Muskies. Hannah Nelson now into pitch, and in right field is going to be Mackenzie Andrzejak. So it looks like Hall's day is done, at least for game one. 0-1 count now to the top of the lineup. And Arissa Santos. She's going to square to bunt, but that one's going to go just foul. Some great timing there from Santos. So now we're having 0-2 count. Haley Goldsby started off with a walk-off walk, excuse me. Leadoff walk. So runner on first here for Santos. That ball's going to be just high for ball one. Nelson getting ready very quickly in the circle. She's pitched that one, but Santos is going to smoke it out to center, but right to Rasky out there. So that's going to be out number one. Now to bat, number 22, Emily Garcia. Emily Garcia now up to bat for the Cougars. Goldsby still over at first as she's going to square to bunt. That one's going to get fouled back, though. Oh, 1 count now for Garcia. Not, oh, looks like that one's going to be called strike 2. She's going to swing at that one. That's going to go up the middle, just past a diving Morrow. So great look there from Goldsby. And now that's going to bring up Jessica Gang. Now to bat, number 12, Jessica Gang. Gang coming up now for the Cougars. Goldsby at second and Garcia over at first. So that one's going to be in there for ball one. So that one's also going to be called for a ball. So 2-0 count now. And that one called for strike. And we're going to have a pickoff attempt from August to Johnson. Just short. They almost caught Haley Goldsby over there, but luckily she got back in time for the Cougars. So that one's going to be in there for ball three. Gang swinging at that one, fouling it back. So now 3-2 count here for the junior out of Arizona. Runners on first and second. Cougars still trail the Muskies 3-2 here in the second. This Gang is going to foul that one off. Going to keep an eye out. Oh, and narrowly missed a car. A driver going down Division Street almost got rocked by that foul ball, but really just barely got out of the way. Again, like we mentioned earlier, the car counter here on the Cougar Sports Network is something we tend to keep track of, so we will keep an eye out for you. And anybody coming to the game today, don't park on Division Street. That is the danger zone. That's going to be in there for ball four. A great look from Gang. And now Melissa Hajik is going to come up to bat. Now to bat, number 13, Melissa Hajik. Hajik up to bat now with the bases juice. That's going to be in there for ball one. Nelson trying to find this zone again. But that's going to be ball one in this count. Now ball two on the inside. August really doing a great job of keeping those balls in front and not allowing anything to get past with a speedy Goldsby on third base. Good thing to keep everything in front. That's going to be called strike one. That might be the first inside strike on the line that's been called so far today. Good take there, but a great pitch too. As that one's going to dribble over to shortstop. They're going to make the play at home, and they're going to get it. So that's going to be a fielder's choice. Fielder's choice on Melissa Hajik, and they're going to get the out. So no damage done for the Muskies as they avoid a tying run there. Now to bat number one, Bella Archuleta. Bella Archuleta now up 2 outs here for the Cougars. She's going to take strike one. Archuleta, her last time up. Well, she's 0 for 1 on the day. She's going to foul that one down the third base line. She's going to take ball one upstairs. Good take there from the senior. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Bases juiced for the Cougars. She's going to foul that one off. Archuleta's going to hit that maybe on Division Street. I don't quite see it, so I think we might have had another narrowly missed car. That's another foul ball hit from Archuleta. Cougars getting rowdy in the dugout today. Archuleta fighting this at bat. 1-2 the count. That one's going to be upstairs for another ball. Twos across the board now for Archuleta. She's going to swing at that one over to shortstop. She's going to flip it to third, and she's going to get it. So that's going to be the end of the inning. Some great work from the Cougars, but just not enough to get a run across. So we will be right back as we bring you the top of the third here on the Cougars Sports Network. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network here. Top of the third in this inning. Pufall still on the mound for the Cougars as she throws ball one. Top of the lineup now for the Muskies. 1-0 count now. And right now, the Muskies leading 3-2 here in this contest. That's going to be ball two to Nelson. The Cougars started off with a home run and a walked-in run, and then the Muskies in the second inning took off with their offense to score a handful. I'm looking to do that again here. As Nelson's going to swing at that one into right, but Contopoulos is under it, and that's going to be out number one for the Muskies. Now it's bat number 23, Maddie Johnson. Johnson now up to bat for the Muskies. 1 out now after that fly out from Nelson. Swung at the first one, but it's going to be fouled back. Looks like, oh, a little dig on a car here that just drove by. So that's car counter number 1 here on the afternoon. Like we mentioned, a lot of action going on, so can never be too careful. 0-1 the count now. He squared on for a bunt, but just foul. A great look there from Archuleta to let that ball go foul. And now an 0-2 count. Cougar fans, lots of action going on today. Baseball is going on just behind center field right now. And they celebrated Senior Day this afternoon. Men's lacrosse will be starting in about 4 minutes at 2 p.m. Men's tennis has been going on all morning here in River Forest. So that one's going to be fouled off onto Division Street as well. Right over a car. But lots of action for the Cougars. We've got some action going on off campus as well. Our track and field team is competing at WLC for the green and white invite. And they started just this morning as well. So lots going on here. And that's going to be a strike 3 swing. Really tied her up there. A great pitch from Pufall. And now that's going to bring up Hall to the plate. Now it's bat number 12, Juliana Hall. Hall now up to bat for the Muskies. 2 outs now here in the third. Pufall still working great on the mound for the Cougars. That one's going to get hit sharply into center, though. I might have jinxed her a little bit on that one. And Hall's going to find herself on first with a base hit. And now Heitman's going to come up, hopefully to get a 2-out rally started here for the Muskies. Now to bat number 18, Abby Heitman. Two outs now for the Muskies here in the top of the third. That ball's going to be in for strike 1. A throwdown from Gang to Hajik, but not a whole lot of movement out of Hall over at first, so just a check. But nothing crazy happening just yet. That's going to be swung on. Contopoulos down, and right field is going to pick it up. And we're going to have movement from Hall from first to third. So a great piece of hitting from Heitman to keep it going for the Muskies here in the third. Looks like Jessica Gang is going to take a second here to talk to her pitcher. Take a little breather. Still 2 outs in the top of the third. First and third situation now as well. So looks like now head coach Sarah O'Malley Fisher is going to come out to have a conversation instead. Again, first and third situation with 2 outs. So handful of things could happen. Could try to go for the runner if they take off for second. But if you're not completely sure that you're going to get that runner, you could be giving up that runner heading home. And in a 1-run game, don't want to necessarily take that chance, but Jessica Gang behind the plate has been lights out all year defensively. And Arissa Santos as well over at shortstop has been fantastic at keeping the tag on the runners. So we'll see what the decision might be here if the Muskies decide to steal a base. Number 11, Maddie Rasky. Rasky up to bat now. First and third with 2 outs in the top of the third. She's going to swing at the first one she sees, and that's going to be a base hit right into center. Quick throw from Goldsby to check Heitman, but that's going to be an RBI, and now The Muskies are going to be ahead 4-2 here, as now Harlow's going to come up to bat. Runners on first and second now for the Muskies, as Pufall looks to close out this inning to minimal damage. She swings at the first one she sees, but it's going to be fouled off. Stays in the park, though. Now to bat number 2, Peyton Harlow. Oh, 1 count now to Harlow. This is Pufall's 3rd inning of work. She's going to throw that one inside for ball 1. 1-1 count now. Heitman taking some big leads over there at second base, so Gang just wanting to keep an eye on her and not allowed her to advance. Now we're going to have a swing there over to Santos, and she's going to take it right over to second. So a quick out there, but not before the Muskies do some more damage of their own. They now lead 4-2, with the Cougars coming up to bat here in the bottom of the 3rd. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. We are ready to go here, as Smith is going to swing at the first pitch she sees. Muskie scored another run in the top of the 3rd to make it a 4-2 ball game here. We've got the 6, 7, 8 up for the Cougars, with Smith starting it off as she swings and misses at that pitch. Great off speed from Nelson. Some great work for her. That one's going to be just upstairs for ball 1. That one's going to be inside for ball 2. So 2-2 the count now. Nelson has been working very fast on the mound, getting in there and immediately getting ready to go. As she gets Smith to swing and miss on that one. Great pitch. And now Contopoulos will be coming up to bat for the Cougars. Now to bat number 25, Alyssa Contopoulos. Contopoulos now up for the Cougars. She's going to take ball 1 here. And that's going to be called a strike on the outside corner. Nelson might have found her money spot there in the strike zone. 1-1 count now, as Contopoulos is going to hit that ball over to shortstop, and Morrow is going to make the clean play, and that's going to be an out for the Muskies. Now to bat, number 9, Gina Westfall. Gina Westfall now up to bat for the Cougars. Number 8 batter in the lineup. She takes ball 1. Cougars looking to at least try to make some more damage here. Started off hot in the first inning with 2 runs scored to take the lead, but since then haven't made a whole lot of action. Nelson coming in and doing some damage on the Cougars. 1-1 count now to Westfall. So that one's going to be just too far outside. 2-1 count now. She's going to get Westfall to swing and miss. That changeup was just nasty. Some great movement out of Nelson to get these Cougar batters off balance. Westfall's going to trickle that one in front of Nelson, and she's going to make the play. So a quick 3-up, 3-down inning for the Muskies. And now we're going to see what the Cougars do with it in the field and at the plate in the 4th inning, as we'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, we've got a new pitcher in for the Cougars, and Megan Buska, a freshman out of Plainfield, Illinois. She's going to throw strike 1 here in the at-bat. Buska, 3.87 ERA, 2 wins, 3 losses on 16 appearances, and 34.1 innings pitched so far for the Cougars in her freshman campaign. She's going to throw that pitch out into left field. Looks like it's going to be a foul ball. Everyone's a little confused on that call, to be honest with you. For a second, it might have looked like it was going to get out, and then the wind kind of took it back in and just barely foul in left field. Westfall was taken after it, so now we're to an 0-2 count here to August. That ball's going to be outside for ball 1 in the count. One, 2 now here for August. We're going to get a swing there into center, right out to Goldsby, and she's going to take it in. So first out for Buska in the circle, and that's going to bring up Meyer. Now to bat number 16, Sydney Meyer. Sydney Meyer now up to bat, the 8-hitter in this lineup for the Muskies. 7-8-9 was due up in the top of the 4th here for the Muskies. Ball 1 called on the outside corner. Just dropped off a little too much there from Buska. Chilly weather out here at Cougar Field. We've been used to some warmer weather lately. Shorts weather, t-shirts. Haven't really had to wear a sweatshirt lately. And for some reason today, decided to drop back into the 30s and 40s. So a lot of our players today wearing sleeves and sweatshirts to battle that cold. As that's going to be in there for a strike, but it's going to be fouled back. Two on the count now after that foul back from Meyer. 1 out so far in the top of the 4th. That's going to be called a strike. Great pitch there from Busca on the outside. It's going to lead to a 2-2 count now. Another outside pitch, but just out of reach. So going full now in this count, 3-2. She's going to get a swing there over to Santos at shortstop. She's going to field it cleanly over to Hajik. So that's going to be the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up number 4, Carly Morrow. Now it's bat number 4, Carly Morrow. Some good work out of Busca so far in her first inning of work. First pitch swinging from Morrow is down the left field line. Absolutely laced. Morrow's going to get a double out of that. Stand-up double for her as she smacks that ball down the first base line. And it's going to roll the order right back over to the top here with Nelson. Now to bat number 17, Hannah Nelson. Nelson came in to pitch now for the Muskies. Started off in right field and is now hitting for herself. She takes ball 1. Top of the 4th here if you're just joining us. 4-2 the score. Muskies lead over the Cougars. We got 2 outs here. As she's going to swing at that one over to shortstop again. Santos is going to glove it. And it's going to be just in time. So Cougars get out of it without giving up any runs. And now they're going to get their opportunity to come back here in the bottom of the inning. So we will be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. 4-2 is the score for our game. Going past the halfway point here. This game has absolutely flown by so far. But 4-2, Muskies lead over the Cougars. Now we have Haley Goldsby up to bat. She takes strike 1 in the at-bat, 1-1 in the count. Oh, that one's going to be called a ball. That inside corner is still kind of a mystery for pitchers on both sides right now. That ball's going to be upstairs. So 3-1 the count now to Goldsby. She's going to swing at that one into right field. But Andrzejak is on it. And she's going to be out. And that's going to bring up the top of the order for the Cougars. Santos now up to bat for the Cougars. She led off the game with a home run. So she is again looking to have a good start here. She takes ball 1 off of Nelson. She's going to swing it that one into right field, right back to Andrzejczyk again, but just unlucky right at her. And that's going to bring up Emily Garcia. Now to bat, number 22, Emily Garcia. Two outs now for the Cougars here as Garcia swings at the first pitch she sees, and she is off and running down the left field line. She's going to make it at least to second with a stand-up double. So some great work out of the freshman to keep this going here. And now we're going to have Jessica Gang up to bat for the Cougars. Now to bat, number 12, Jessica Gang. Garcia on second now here as Nelson's going to fire in the first strike of the at-bat. 0-1 the count. That's going to be called a ball. Going to try for a pickoff there, but Garcia is going to get back in time. August behind the dish with a great pop time there. Swing and a miss at a Gang. Nelson's off speed has just been deadly this entire afternoon. She's going to get Gang to swing right back at her, so that's going to be an easy play for her. So no runs scored for the Cougars there. We're going to look to see what happens here in the top of the fifth as we come right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the fifth here. Johnson up to bat for the Muskies. She takes strike one from Buska. This game has been absolutely flying so far for us here on the Cougar Sports Network. Top of the fifth already. As we're going to have a squared bunt there. We're going to have a called, we're going to have, oh, nope, we're going to have a called foul maybe. Oh, we're going to have a runner out of the box called. So now we're going to have a conversation here. It was a great punt from Johnson. It absolutely died in front of the plate. And it looks like the head coach for the Muskies is looking to argue, but not going to get very much anywhere. So that's going to be the first out for the Cougars here. Now to bat, number 12, Juliana Hall. Hall now up to bat with no runners on instead of a runner on first. She's going to swing at that one, but it's going to go on to Division Street. Might have hit a car. I don't think. I think we actually got away from it again. So only one car hit so far today. Division Street has been lucky. 0-1 the count here. She's going to swing at that one up in the air. Going to have a lot of calling, and then it looks like Santos is going to be the one to end up with the ball. So out number 2 recorded for Buska and the Cougars. Now it's bat number 18, Abby Heitman. That's going to bring up Heitman, the cleanup hitter in this lineup. Buska has been working really well in the circle so far. That's going to be in there for ball one for Heitman. Earlier we had a 16-on-16 matchup. Now we're having an 18-on-18 matchup. So that one's going to be strike one called. 1-1 count now for Heitman at the plate. She's going to swing at that one. It's going to go out into center to Haley Goldsby, and that's going to be the last out of the inning. So a quick inning for the Cougars, and it's their chance to do some work on offense. So we will be right back in the bottom of the fifth here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back on the Cougar Sports Network, very quickly getting ready to go here. Nelson throws the first strike of the at-bat to Hajik. She's going to throw that one in there for ball one. 4-2 still the score here in River Forest. Muskies over Cougars. And we're going to have a 1-2 count now for Hajik. Nelson still working very quickly in the circle. That one just a tad outside for a 2-2 count now. Hajik is going to foul that one back as well. So 2-2 still the count. She's going to line that one down the left field line, but it's just going to go foul. For Cougar fans at home that aren't aware, last night the CUC Athletic Department celebrated the Charlies, the student athlete banquet. Melissa Hajik was actually up for Female Athlete of the Year, along with her teammate Jessica Gang. A lot of fun happened throughout the night, as we're going to have a swinging strike three for Hajik. But that's now going to bring up Bella Archuleta. Now to bat number one, Bella Archuleta. One out now here in the bottom of the fifth. She's going to swing at the first one she sees going down to right field, just foul. Wind really taking the ball so far today. Blowing a little bit all over the place. Pretty heavy more towards our direction here in the press box behind home plate, but it has been pretty frequently changing. That's going to be in there for strike two. A great spot from Nelson. And then Archuleta's going to swing at that one over to Andrzejak in right field. Now looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for the Cougars. It's going to be number 11, Olivia Stroker. Pinch hitting for the Cougars is number 11, Olivia Stroker. Stroker now coming up to bat for the Cougars with 2 outs here, taking the place of Caitlin Smith. She's going to look at strike 1 there from Nelson. 0-1 the count here, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. She's going to swing at that one, foul it off, but quick 0-2 count out of Nelson. That one, it looked like she might have check swung, but not enough. Muskie's hyped up for that one, but just not the call. So 1-2 count now. And then she's going to get the swinging strike 3. So still got it in the end there. And now Cougars scoreless now for a total of 4 innings. So now we'll look to see what this will look like for the last 2 innings of play in Game 1 here as we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. We are back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Rask starting off the Muskies in the top of the 6th. She's going to swing at the first one she sees. That ball's lined to left, and it is out of here. Absolutely tattooed to left field. So a lead-off home run for Rasky and the Muskies. Huge exclamation point for them right there. It looks like we might have a pitching change here with Emma Borelli coming into the game. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network, and we'll be back to introduce you to our new Cougar pitcher in just a moment. Back on the Cougar Sports Network. New pitcher in the circle for the Cougars, number 21, Emma Borelli. As she throws the first ball in there for ball 1. Borelli, 10.5 ERA on the year, a 2-2 win-loss record, 14 appearances, 22 innings pitched so far for Borelli. She's going to throw ball 2 there. 2. Technical difficulties here on the Cougar Sports Network. Apologies to all watching at home. We had to walk there to Harlow to put her on first base. And now August going to square, pulling back, and that's going to be called a strike. So 0-1 the count now. Muskies, so far in this inning, a huge home run from Rasky to put them up 5-2 in this game. And that brought Borelli in for the Cougars. And she's going to throw that, and we're going to have a taken off for a second. We're going to have an out from Gang to Santos. A huge pickoff play. And that's a giant momentum changer there for the Cougars. A great throwdown from Gang. And now we're going to have nobody on base for the Muskies. 0-2 the count now to August after she swung through to advance the runner. Off speed there from Borelli in the dirt. 1-2 the count now. That one gonna be called strike 3. Caught looking there on the inside corner. Huge strikeout for Borelli. And that's gonna bring up Meyer to the plate. Now to bat number 16, Sydney Meyer. Huge change there for the Cougars. As now Borelli is working that outside corner. 0-1. 0-1 the count now for Borelli and Meyer. That one's going to be inside for strike 1. The evaded inside strike has now been found by Borelli here. We got an 0-2 count now for Meyer with 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th. Top of the 6th, excuse me. That ball's going to go over to Archuleta at third. And it's going to be an out. So what was going to look like maybe not a 3-3 down inning is now looking that way. So now Cougars getting a chance to come up to bat now in the bottom of the 6th as we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Huge inning for the Cougars defensively out in the field. And that's going to bring them back to the plate. Nelson still working in the circle for the Muskies as she delivers strike 1 to Contopoulos. That ball caught the outside corner of the strike zone for an 0-2 count. Looking to try to extend that strike zone. A great spot from Nelson, but Contopoulos didn't bite. 1-2 the count now. She's going to swing through strike 3. Nelson is just absolutely dealing in the circle right now. And that's going to bring up Gina Westfall. Now to bat number 9, Gina Westfall. Oh, God. She goes so fast. 1-0 the count now. Westfall's going to swing at that one right back to Nelson. She's going to cleanly make the play. So that's going to be out number 2 very, very quickly in this inning for the Muskies. Now to bat number 4, Haley Goldsby. Goldsby up to bat now for the Cougars in the 9-hole spot. She takes strike 1. Nelson has just absolutely tapped into the strike zone on that outside corner now. Goldsby's going to swing that one up the middle. Johnson, the backhanded play, and she's going to get the out. So extremely quick inning for the Muskies in the field. And now they're going to get a chance to come back up to the plate as we come back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back on the Cougar Sports Network, welcoming you to the 7th inning of today's contest. 5-2, the Muskies lead here. Now we've got Carly Morrow up to bat, taking strike 1 from Emma Borelli in the circle. That one's going to be in the dirt for ball 1. Muskies looking to tack on a couple more runs before the Cougars' last chance to take the lead in the 7th. That's also going to be in there for a strike. A little bit of a late call there, but 1-2 the count now. Great pitch there from Borelli to get a flare over to Garcia at second to get Morrow out, and that's going to bring up the top of the lineup and Hannah Nelson. Now to bat number 17, Hannah Nelson. Nelson takes strike 1 there from Borelli on the inside corner. She's going to swing at that one, but it's going to line out right to Bella Archuleta, who almost looked like she was going to throw over to first, but a great play from the senior, showing off on senior day for out number 2. Now to bat number 23, Maddie Johnson. Johnson now up to bat, 2-hole hitter for the Muskies. Oh, Borelli's going to throw a great off-speed to get a swinging miss out of Johnson. 0-1 the count here. That ball going to be a little bit too far inside. 1-1 the count now. 2 outs here, top of the 7th. Muskies wanting to tack on a couple more runs before the Cougars get one more chance to score. Squared to bunt there from Johnson, fouled back, but it bounces off the net. So now 1-2 count here for Johnson. That one's inside, almost hit Johnson, just narrowly missed her. And now we've got 2s across the board in this at-bat. Borelli gets a swing there, fouls it off. Not out onto Division Street, so no cars getting hit. Only 1 on the car counter so far this afternoon. That one's going to be inside for ball 3. So full count now here for Johnson. A great at-bat out of her as we go into the 7th pitch of this at-bat. Borelli delivers the pitch, but it's going to be fouled down the third base line. Archuleta chasing after it. Good spot there out of Borelli. Another foul there from Johnson. This is becoming quite the battle. As now this will be the 9th pitch of this at-bat. That's going to be on the outside corner for ball 4. So that's going to put Johnson on first, and it's going to bring up Hall to the plate. Now it's bat number 12, Juliana Hall. Hall now up to bat for the Muskies with 2 outs. Looking to get a 2-out rally started here in the top of the 7th. That one's going to get swung on. Drops right into right center. Contopoulos is going to bobble it, and they're going to be sending Johnson home. She's going to make it, and that's going to be another run for the Muskies. Off of that play into center. And now we've got another run scored there for the Muskies. It's going to bring up number 18, Abby Heitman. That one's going to go a little out of the way for Gang. Now we're going to have Hall move over to third base. 2 outs still here in the top of the 7th. 6-2 the score here, Muskies to Cougars. As that one's called strike 1 on the outside corner. 1-1 the count now. Heitman looking to keep the inning alive. Borelli looking to get her Cougars back to the plate. She's going to get a swing there. Inside out kind of swing. Kind of more of a defensive swing at that point. But it's going to be 1-2 now in this at-bat for Heitman. That ball is going to get hit into left field, but it's going to be just foul. It's going to be out, but it's going to be foul. Gina Westfall having to go through the gate to go get it, so a narrow miss there. Cougar fans are kind of taking a sigh of relief on that one. Ball thrown back in, actually just hit the umpire from Gina Westfall. As Emma Borelli's checking both the balls that were brought back to her from the outfield. We're going to do it all over again. 1-2 the count here. 2 outs. Runner on third for the Muskies, and Heitman up to bat. That's going to be fouled off into Division Street. Don't see any crazy movement, so these cars are just narrowly avoiding the damage here on Division Street. That one's going to be an inside-out swing over to Santos at shortstop, and they're going to get the play done, so that's going to end the inning, but not before the Muskies score another. So 6-2 as we run into the final half inning here for the Cougars to score. So we'll be right back on the Cougars Sports Network. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Final half inning of regulation play here in game one of our doubleheader. Muskies lead 6-2 with the top of the Cougars order here starting us off. As Santos is going to hit that ball right up the middle for a base hit to get the Cougars going here. Now to bat, number 22, Emily Garcia. Garcia now up to the plate with an opportunity to keep this game going, just trailing by 4 runs. She's going to take strike one from Nelson, who has continued to just be lights out in the circle since she's come in. That one's going to get called for a ball upstairs. Cougar fans, make sure to stick around on the Cougar Sports Network for game 2 of our action, which will be taking place probably about 20 minutes after the finalization of game 1. As Garcia's going to get that one over to third. They're going to go to make the play, and they're going to make it to get Santos out. So a fielder's choice for Garcia, and that's going to get Santos out at second and bring up Jessica Gang. Gang is going to swing at the first one she sees. It's out into left. A little bit of a trouble getting to it for a second. Wind has been a definite key component today. But that's going to be an out for her. Now to bat, number 13, Melissa Hajik. Melissa Hajik now up to bat with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. So we will look to see if she will keep this game alive. Nelson, as mentioned before, has just been wheeling and dealing since she's come into this game. Hajik's going to take strike one there, 0-1 the count. Hajik's going to swing at that one into center. Going to trail it, but it's going to drop. A little bit of a miscommunication there, so this is going to keep on going here with Bella Archuleta coming up to bat. Now to bat, number 1, Bella Archuleta. Runners on first and second here for Archuleta. She swings at the first one. She sees and lines that. Garcia's going to turn from third and head home, and she's going to make it. So Cougars staying alive here in this inning. Looks like we might have a conversation going on now. Looks like we're going to have another conversation again. Looks like we might have a pinch runner here for Archuleta. It's going to be number 17, Mykyler Morris, heading into pinch run for Archuleta. Looks like we might have another batter coming in, or it looks like Olivia Stroker's still going to be up to bat here. And it looks like Stroker will be coming up to bat now. Now to bat, number 11, Olivia Stroker. Olivia Stroker coming up now for the Cougars. After they score another run, as Stroker's going to swing at the first one she sees. As the Cougars look to get a 2-out rally continuing against Lake Forest on Wednesday. They ended up having a 7-run inning in the 7th to tie the game up 10-10. It ended up ending in a tie due to light. But not something that the Cougars are not unfamiliar with. As we're going to try a pickoff attempt there between August and Johnson. It's going to be missed for a second, but Rask in center is able to get the ball back up. A little bit of a collision, it looked like, between Hajik and Johnson, but everyone looks to be all right. 1-1 the count now here. As a swing and a miss from Stroker. 1-2 the count now. 2 outs here, bottom of the 7th. That one's outside for ball 2. So now we've got 2s across the board. 6-3 the score. Cougars looking to try and make a comeback here in the bottom of the 7th. That one is going to be called for a ball. That was probably one of the most tense check swings questioning I've ever seen. So now we got a full count here. Runners are going to be going on the pitch. Another check swing, so that's gonna be ball 4. The Muskie fans are just confused. And now looks like we will not have Alyssa Contopoulos. We are going to have Julia Pataluna come in to pinch hit for Contopoulos. Pataluna coming up to bat now for the Cougars. Now to bat number 27, Julia Pataluna. Bases are loaded here with 2 outs. Pataluna's going to swing at the first one she sees. But bases are loaded with 2 outs now for the Cougars. She's going to take ball 1 now. Nelson still working well in the circle. Just a couple of miscommunications out in the field there. As she's going to take ball 2 in this at-bat. Two one the count now. That one's going to get called for a strike. Great pitch from Nelson. Absolutely finesse that one. And that's going to get called strike 3. And that's going to be it. So game 1 of this doubleheader is going to go to the Muskies. Couple of final things here as Muskies continue their win streak and the Cougars fall in this battle. However, we will be back very soon here for Game 2 action, so stick around on the Cougar Sports Network as we will be bringing you Game 2 action in just a couple moments.